Well. Hello everybody. It's 10th of August 2020, Monday. My name is Sergey Baklikov. Yes, my name is still Sergey Baklikov, and I still keep my channel going. This is another live stream from the Ural trip. Ural trip 2020. Now this is the Ural trip where I am in Yekaterinburg. The city of Yekaterinburg, which is the fourth biggest city in Russia. The first one is Moscow, the second St. Petersburg, the third Novosibirsk, and the fourth biggest city it's Yekaterinburg with almost 1.5 million residents. And also this is considered as the capital of Ural, the capital of Ural region, and also like sometimes called the third capital. The first it's like Moscow, the second also known as northern capital or cultural capital of Russia, St. Petersburg, and the third is Yekaterinburg. Michael Heiter, thank you too, thank you so much. Okay, so let's get it started. So the weather is not so good. It's not as good as it was yesterday in Tumen. Mostly it was okay. Well, it's at least not cold, but I see in my weather forecast that in 1 hour from now they forecast the rain with a 100% probability. Okay, so here is I'm in the center of the city. By the way, I stopped in this hotel, which is called Marion Park Hotel, 3 stars, but I don't need more, okay? I don't need more. When I just started, why the hell you said that I'm getting late? I think that I've got late maximum for 1 minute, and actually on my clocks it was exactly 6:30 p.m. as I promised. Why the hell just 1 minute and you already telling me that I'm getting late? This is no good at all. Now here on this square before the railway station, here is the monument to local tankmen and their heroism in the years of World War II. And here is the railway station of Yekaterinburg. Yekaterinburg is considered as one of the biggest railway hubs. Trans Siberian Railway goes through Yekaterinburg, of course. Shannon Pickens stop off in Izhevsk, show the State Medical Academy. I will not go to Izhevsk at this time. Sorry, dude. But next time. The weather is super cloudy. And yeah, it seems like the rain really can start. The railway station, the railway station of memory, it tells. And these days it is temporarily decorated with the photographs of people who participated in World War II. It is dedicated to 75 years of victory in World War II. It's a nice neoclassical architecture. Big time. Okay, let's go to the city. Yekaterinburg, founded in 1723, 2 years before the death of Peter the Great. Peter the Great died in 1725. So in 1723, he actually orders the construction of iron making plant here. And that's where from the history of the city is started. And it is called Yekaterinburg, what means like from the name Yekaterina, Catherine. It is dedicated to Catherine the First, to the wife of Peter the Great. Yekaterinburg. And look, back then, actually it was out of all the towns where I recently visited, you know, Magnitogorsk, Chelyabinsk, Tyumen, it's all way younger cities than Yekaterinburg, because Yekaterinburg actually located closer to the Central Russia, to Volga region, and that's why the developments of Yekaterinburg just territorially started way before, and it's actually way older city than other Siberian cities. For example, Magnitogorsk, it was founded in 1929 as a city. And here went the Trans-Siberian Railway. But before that, here also was so-called the Great Siberian Route. Great Siberian Route. And actually here was two goals to found the city. The first one is to make an iron. I say iron making plant, not an iron and steel works, because back then it wasn't like that. I mean, like it wasn't like a regular industrial modern iron and steel works. Okay, so that's why I literally translated as iron making plant. Okay, and of course, again, the control of the territories. This is another gate to Siberia. Same as Chelyabinsk and same as Tyumen. That's the monument to winter fishermen, or winter fishing. Soviet architecture, late Soviet Union architecture, gray panel buildings. And here is what I really hate. I hate the audio advertisements. Here is an audio advertisement. People who are walking through this place have to listen to it, okay? Which is no good. Okay, let's go to Sverdlov Street. Sverdlov, he used to be one of the most significant Soviet politicians. And Yekaterinburg, from the periods of 1921 or 1924, don't remember exactly, but until exactly 1991 it was called Sverdlovsk. It's like Leningrad was named after Lenin, Stalingrad named after Stalin, so Sverdlovsk was named after Sverdlov. I'm going through the pedestrian underpass, and I hope that the connection will not get lost. I now in the very beginning of Sverdlovsk Street, and I believe there's the bust, if I can say so, or how I can call it. That's, I believe, the head of Sverdlovsk. Stalinist architecture. Another city with a huge early Soviet Union influence. Yekaterinburg. The capital of Ural. Almost 1.5 million residents. It's, by the way, like the real Ural. It is already so-called Middle Ural. Because, let's say, Magnitogorsk and Chelyabinsk, when I've been the other days, it's South Ural. But this is the Middle Ural. The Middle Ural. And not far from here, there goes famous Ural Mountains. But in this area, the mountains are not that big. And that was a very comfortable, how to say, the natural thing for making the route here, the route. Because when the mountains, the hills are not that high, or how to say, it's easier to make the road through this. And that's one of the natural reasons why they started to develop the city exactly here. Yekaterinburg. The new point on our map. I love it that the geography of the videos on this channel growing up all the time. By the way, what really makes me sick in all these Ural towns, that the traffic lights are so long, so long. I notice this in every city. I used to notice that in Magnitogorsk. I used to notice that in... What are you doing, you motherfucker? Okay, I scared the woman. I scared the woman. But really, why he's like a motherfucker, you know? You see the woman there? I scared her. Outing. I mean, if you have the problem with the brakes, why you drive so fast? And then you're braking so loud and make people all scared all around. This is no good, okay? I really trying not to say curse words these days. But when things like this happens, I just can do nothing with myself. Okay? I'm now going to the river, which is called Iset River, and that's where exactly the town was founded, or to be exact, it was a fortress. Well, like everywhere, everything started with just a little fortress. The fortress inside of which there was an iron making plant, which was made there by an order of Peter the Great and named after, actually that iron making plant was named after his wife, Catherine the First. Not the second, not Catherine the Great. It was 2 years before the death of Peter the First, Peter the Great. He died in 1725, and the fortress founded in 1723. Sverdlovsk. That's definitely like 100% Soviet streets. More like even prospect. It's wide. It's all full of monumental early Soviet Union residential buildings. And now with these streets, I'm going to a pretty significant for Russian history place. Unfortunately, it's like dedicated to a very bad event in the history of Russian Empire. But we go there. We are going to the Church on Blood. Yes, it's like Church of the Savior on Blood in St. Petersburg. I mean the name. the church looks different than Church of the Savior on Spilled Blood in St. Petersburg. Here they also have a church on blood, and if Church of the Savior on Spilled Blood in St. Petersburg dedicated to the bloods of Tsar Alexander II, then here the church is dedicated to the last Russian emperor, last Russian Tsar Nicholas II, and all of his family. There on the place of that church, there was the Ipatiev house, Ipatiev's house, and that's where they all were killed. They were murdered, and that was the end of the Tsar's dynasty of Romanovs, of Tsarism in Russia at all. And on that place, on the place where was the Ipatiev house, they are constructed church on bloods, and it's literally on the bloods of Nicholas II and all of his family. And then the bodies of the family, they will buried in one of the mines not far from Yekaterinburg, and 100 years, almost 100 years after, they have found their bones, okay, and moved them to St. Petersburg, to Peter and Paul Fortress and Peter and Paul Church, where we know that almost all Russian Tsars from the dynasty of Romanovs are buried. This is the house of music. The house of music. The house of music. Дом музыки. And in the beginning there was a jack, and Jack had a groove, and from this groove came the groove of all grooves. I am, you see, I am the creator, and this is my house. That house, the house music was born. Yes, this is a new level. I'm bringing the live streams to a whole new level. I'm telling you. And it's not just the words, you know. Some modern architecture. But check out modern architecture. I'm not sure what is here, maybe business center, but on the first floor here is Gazprom Bank. Gazprom Bank. By the way, Yekaterinburg is one of the biggest business and financial centers, and they are even constructing here is the district, which is like called Yekaterinburg City. It's like the reference to Moscow City or Moscow City, which is like the financial districts in Moscow with all those skyscrapers. And RBC channel, which is Russian business consulting channel, admitted Yekaterinburg as now the most developed city for a business. Well, it's a fourth biggest city in Russia. By the way, it seems like in Sverdlovsk region, and this is Sverdlovsk region, by the way, it's a situation same as in Leningrad region and St. Petersburg. When Leningrad was renamed back to St. Petersburg, however, the region stays as a Leningrad region. It has never became St. Petersburg region or something like that. And same here, so they renamed the city from from Sverdlovsk to Yekaterinburg, but the region stayed Sverdlovsk region, or to be exact, Sverdlovskaya Oblast. That's how it sounds in Russian. Oh, Alex, chef, thank you big time. Actually, this is where we are. That's church on the blood of Nicholas II and his family. Боже, царя храни. God saved the Tsar, but unfortunately, the gods never saved Tsar. I really don't appreciate it, because look, already back in 1917, Nicholas II, he signed the abdication of the throne, okay? When I was in Pskov, I was telling you about this, and I was even showing you where exactly it happens. It happens when he was in a train car of his emperor's train, and it was staying on the railway station of Pskov. That's where he signed an abdication. And there's even the chapel on the square before the railway station, which is dedicated to the abdication of the throne by Nicholas II. Okay, so he already was out of power, and it was like more than a year when he was already out of the authority, when they decided to kill him, which is no good. I mean, it was not necessary. Grand Hips, thank you. The super chats with no message, but with a great support, okay? Железнодорожный район, railway district. And this is the theater of a young viewer. That's how it's called. Театр юного зрителя. It's like about the end of 1970s, depending on how the architecture looks like. The theater of a young viewer. It seems like mostly the performances for little ones, for kids. For example, there I see the advertisements. Золотой ключик, It's like Golden Key. It's about Buratino, which is Russian Pinocchio. And there's the so-called House of Children's Creativity. It's same as, like, for example, in St. Petersburg, there's a former Anichkov Palace, and they made the Center for Kids Creativity there. Okay, but let's go to the Church of the Savior on Blood. But here in Yekaterinburg, dedicated not to Alexander II, but to Nicholas II, the last Russian Tsar. Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, not as brutal as General Sherman. Got it, got it. Abu al-Ghazali, thank you big time. All the time supporter. What about the public transportation? Public transportation developed pretty much here. The buses, trolley buses, trams, and by the way, metro. They have metro here. Just one line. But I guess maybe for Yekaterinburg it's enough. Because it's not as big as St. Petersburg or as Moscow. For example, I would say in Ufa, there would be just enough, just one line, to have one metro line, because the town is, like, how to say, it's wide. It's not like the circle or something, it's wide, and really you can make just one line from one end of the city, like from the south to north, and that's it, and it will cover almost all city. So maybe here as well. Fred, greetings Sergey, another fine Russia tour. Thank you for the lovely sights. Keep up the good job. Big time likes. Oh yeah, you don't forget likes. Don't forget likes. You always forgetting likes, which is no good. For example, I never forgot to drive another 400 kilometers. And you're forgetting likes. Here is such a little park next to the church, or how to say, cathedral on Blood. Well, of course, this is an Orthodox Christian cathedral and a kind of architecture. Yekaterinburg also traditionally a very Russian city. 86% of Russians are living here. Then about 6% of Tatars, then Ukrainians, and all the rest. I told you that next to the theater of young viewer, or like youth theater, here is seems like former mansion, which is now turns into the house of people's creativity. What does it mean? It means the creativity in all ways. Like theatrical studios, or it can be something more technological, like robotechnics, something sportish. Wow, you just imagine, 102 years ago, here was the house, Ipatiev house, and there was Nicholas II and his family, and they just murdered them all in a basement. What a morphos. I really don't like this page in a history of Russia, because I already explained that back then, already for more than a year, he was out of the authority. He signed the abdication. He was out of authority, out of power. So why was need to kill him? And look, now it's really also interesting for me to recall that you remember when I've been to Kostroma, there was the Ipatiev monastery. And I told you that's actually where was born the very first Russian Tsar from the dynasty of Romanovs. It's actually the grandfather of Peter the Great. So the stage of Russian history of the Romanovs period started in Kostroma, in Ipatiev's monastery, but finished here in Yekaterinburg 300 years after, in Ipatiev's house. Ipatiev's monastery, Ipatiev's house. Whoa, what an interesting fact, you know. And this is great that all of these historical facts we are collecting all together, and we personally see it all. Just a month ago or about that, you remember I've been to Kostroma in Ipatiev's monastery, and I told you that's where the dynasty of Romanov started. I mean, as the dynasty of the emperor's dynasty. It was the grandfather of Peter the Great. It started in Ipatiev's monastery in Kostroma, but finished here in Ekaterinburg in Ipatiev's house. Wow. This is a accumulation of a big history. A big 300 years history was like, how to say, really stopped here. It was the end of the whole 300 years period of Russian history. Боже, царя храни. Да. Unfortunately, the God never saved the Tsar. By the way, here is special. This is for the first time I see the thing like this so far. But here in Yekaterinburg, look at this red line. This is actually for tourists, you know. So you can walk through the red line to make sure that you go through like all the most significant places in Yekaterinburg. And I believe they also have some information, text information, audio files, something like that you can listen while you're walking. And this is Philharmonic. Yekaterinburg Philharmonic. From the points of view of the cultural life in Yekaterinburg, everything is good. Let's say here is the number of the places like this. I mean, like the theaters, philharmonics, ADC. It's only less than in Moscow and in St. Petersburg. So the amounts of theaters is huge here. Cultural life is big. And that's logic. This is actually the third biggest city in pre-Siberian parts of Russia. I mean, like fourth in whole Russia, but the third in pre-Siberia. In pre-Siberia Russia. And this is the biggest city of the whole Ural. And Ural, you know, also not that small. Not that small at all. So here is the accumulation of the culture in Ural region, or to be exact, Ural Federal District. I'm telling you. By the way, here is next to Philharmonic, here is the theater. It's a theater for the students. I mean, for the students, actors. So here they can like try themselves. Like the whole theater, which is dedicated to only practicing for young artists, I guess. The merchant architecture there. Here is now a huge mix of 19th, 20th, and 21st century. I need to check out on the map where we are at all. We now better go that way. There is so-called literature block. Colin Culver, keep it up. I will keep it going. Thank you. And look, the red line actually also leads us to that part. Photographic store of Mitinkov. So there was the merchant who was into the photography. I know, look, the red line goes there. But we... Ah, damn. That's what it means first time. Photographic store of Mitinkov. Mitinkov, this is the last name. The second half of 19th century. Defended by the government. It's awesome. And also here you can find such descriptions of what it is all about. О, еще один эксперт по акценту. Только где насрать. Tchaikovsky, Pyotr Ilyich. This is one of the most significant Russian composers ever. Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff, Prokofiev, Римский-Корсаков, Глинка. Ну и, конечно, and of course, Shostakovich. Look, actually now I started finding that the red line, such a huge red line in this city, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, really. I mean, you know that recently I've been to like almost 30 towns. And this is for the first time I see like this. Well, it's just red line. You just go. And you make sure that you're not missing anything. I mean, if you're a tourist, it's good. those who just joined, let me explain that the red line means like the most significant tourist route. By the way, yesterday when I went back home into Maine, not home, but I mean to the hotel, I almost had a fight with the taxi driver because we started talking with him about the history, okay? Because history is close to me. And you know what he told me? He is a fucking stupid fan of a so-called alternative history. And do you know what is alternative history means? Look at this building, for example. You see? Actually, the first floor there went like I guess maybe like just 1 meter down. Like there, you see? This building is way higher. And he told me that we don't know the real history. And the real history is that about like several centuries ago, all our walls was just buried under the ground. And this is like because it was buried. I'm telling him, dude, these houses are like 100 plus, 200 years old. This is just a natural process. It went down. You know, the history, it's exact science. This is the accumulation of so many independent facts, you know. And come on, it's easy to check. It's stupid to believe that all our world was buried under the ground, like somebody tried to steer it off from the history and like to completely rewrite the history. This is so stupid, and I told him this is stupid. This is stupid because the history, some people thinking that history is something like closer to literature, like the historians, they just describe what it used to be. But the normal, real professional historians, they are thinking that this is an exact science, which is founded on a lot of facts, and there have to be at least several absolutely independent sources until they will tell something for sure. And there is no any examples. After all, it's just physically not possible, you know, to like bury all the world under the ground. And like on the buried under the ground civilization to make the new civilization. Come on, what are you talking about? And I said that he have no idea what he's talking about, you know. And it was actually not easy for me at all, not easy, that not to smash his face off. I was about to smash his face off because I was absolutely amazed in a bad way with his stupidity. I fucking hate stupidity, especially such a frank stupidity. So I wanted just to kick his ass off, but with the amounts of huge efforts, I kept myself in hands because I never wanted the problem. I felt the responsibility for you and for my family, because today I had to make the video here in Yekaterinburg, and I don't need the problems. I don't need the problems with the police just because one stupid believer into so-called alternative history. The Museum of the History of Yekaterinburg. And look, this is constructivism. You remember, dudes, you remember I went to Ivanovo, and Ivanovo turned to be a huge preserve of an architecture in a style of constructivism. And you know what I learned today? I learned today that Yekaterinburg is also a huge place. The city with a lot of examples of constructivism, of such a functional, rational, a little bit brutal, not too much decorated buildings. Constructivism. Well, I guess even from this word, constructivism, you understand what it means. It's like the main accent on construction, on maximally useful construction without too much of artistic elements. Trolley buses. Always love them. Екатеринбурg. Кино Колизей. That's how it's called. Coliseo. Well, it doesn't look like the real Coliseo in Italy, but okay. And this is the theater of musical comedy. Yes, I actually heard about so-called alternative historians, but just never met them in real life. And yesterday I've met him, and he would sound so stupid. So I really wanted to beat his face off, big time. He said, watch just 4 minutes video on YouTube, and told me the title, how I have to search for it. And you will understand. Come on! The historians learning the history for years and years. And you watched 4 minutes on YouTube the bullshit about alternative history. Okay? And now you're telling that all the official history is a bullshit. I can accept that many in the now official history things are somehow falsificated or not really exact, but to say this all is a bullshit because everything was buried under the ground, and on the ground of buried civilization they made the new one just after 4 minutes video of the same idiot. Come on. For the whole lives, the historians, real professional historians, learning the history, And this dude tells me, watch this 4 minutes video on YouTube and you will understand. Yeah, this ambulance need for all the alternative historians. Yeah, that's the psychiatrist goes to one of those alternative historians, okay? Damn. You have no idea. What a cringe it was. It was the real cringe. This is for me. Remove camera. Really, the sign there, remove the camera. Get the camera off. The Central Post Office. Another constructivism. Those who just joined, let me remind you that today I'm walking through the city of Yekaterinburg, which is the capital of Ural region of Russia, and the fourth biggest, largest city in a whole Russia, with almost 1.5 million residents. The city founded in 1723 by an order of Peter the Great, 2 years before his death. Peter the Great died in 1725, and here at first it was just on the bank of Issyk River, where I'm going now, and on the embankment of Issyk River there was founded the fortress, and inside of that fortress iron making plant, and that iron making plant was named after Catherine I, not the second, who we mostly know. Catherine II, Catherine the Great, but Catherine I, who was the wife of Peter the Great, you know, and that's how the town started to be developed. They were making the iron there, and also here was a very good and comfort position for making the Grand Siberian Route. It was yet before Trans-Siberian Railway. And by the way, now Yekaterinburg is one of the points of a Trans-Siberian Railway. But back then it was so-called route, Grand Siberian Route. And this is actually really was back then the gate, the real gate from Central Russia, from Volga region to Siberia and deeper. So now here we are. That's why the town got developments later, even in Russian Empire days and in the Soviet days. And now turned to be the fourth biggest city in Russia. Constructivism. Another square here in this city. It's the monument to the inventor of the radio, to Popov, Alexander Popov. Inventor of the radio. An old school Czech Republic tram. Here what we have. Okay. That's to 37th Ekaterinburg regiment from the citizens. More of constructivism. Yekaterinburg. Not a single classical composer, I mean like really significant classical composer came out of Yekaterinburg, but in the newest history of Russia, from here came out a lot of very popular bands. For example, Nautilus Pompilius, смысловые галлюцинации, who are singing «Вечно молодой», «Вечно пьяный», Агата Кристи, Чичерина. By the way, I came now to the embankments of Issyk River. Wow, and look at this mansion. What a mansion, look. And look at this rotunda. Rotunda is actually very uncommon for residential building, for mansion. Rotunda is mostly for fortifications. But here, it is rotunda for a residential mansion. Former merchant house. Looks pretty great. Pretty awesome. Issyk River. Actually, on the countryside, there's the place where this city was founded. We'll go there now. Here is pedestrian underpass. And this seems like this is the pond, which is actually blocked with this barrier here. Okay, let's see. Street musicians. Well, Ural plays a huge role in rock music back in 1990s. Oh, Victor Tsoi. Tsoi. Вот Цой. Виктор Цой, Kino, the leader of Kino bands. Мы хотим видеть дальше, чем окна дома напротив. Мы хотим жить, мы живучи как кошки. И вот мы пришли заявить о своих правах. Да, слышишь шелест плащей? Это мы. Виктор Цой. Виктор Цой. Цой жив. Цой is alive. Цой is alive in our hearts. Okay? О, Цой. Some stupid vandals. Look what they did with his face. Freaking vandals. Цой жив. Цой is alive. Виктор Цой. 21st of June 1962 to 15th of August 1990. That's when he died. Well, that's Isich River. So let me to correct an information. This is Isich River, and there that was the pond. Whoa, look at this huge rhodonite stone. Motif. I've noticed that here you can see a lot of advertisements of Motif. Motif, this is a mobile phone operator and seems like popular mostly here because I see it only here. In all Russia it's like only like big three. It's MTS, Megaphone, Beeline. Well, now also Tele2. But never I saw Motif. only here. Мы хотим видеть дальше, чем окна дома напротив. Мы хотим жить, мы живучи как кошки. И вот мы пришли заявить о своих правах. Да, слышишь шелест плащей? Это мы. Дальше действовать будем мы. Дальше действовать будем мы. Слышишь шелест плащей? Это мы. Дальше действовать будем мы. This is actually the place where everything is started. We are in the very center of Yekaterinburg, historically. Not sure what's the center of it now, but historically this is the center. Exactly there was the fortress and iron making plant, which was named after Catherine I, the wife of Peter the Great. That's how Yekaterinburg started to be developed. Then the second stage of the development was that Ekaterinburg, it's located in a very good place, in a very good location, just geographically. It is the middle Ural. You know, recently when I've been to Magnitogorsk, Chelyabinsk, it was South Ural. This is the middle Ural. And look, actually the Ural mountains, they are pretty big. Okay? But exactly in this region, near Yekaterinburg, they are not so tall. And this is good. This is good for making the road here. And back then they started to make so-called Grand Siberian Route or tract. Grand Siberian tract. And what does it mean? Through Yekaterinburg went the connection with Ural, with Siberia, and deeper to Far East. It's economy. All the commercial flows, trading, the markets went through Yekaterinburg. It's like the real huge and reliable forepost in the middle of Siberia and Central Russia. Caffeine. I need caffeine. Okay? Слышишь шелест плащей? Это мы. У вас есть кофе с собой? Вот мне нужно латте. Мне необходим латте. Большой латте. Мне обязательно надевать маску сейчас? А то в Макдональдсе мне сказали, надо обязательно маску надевать. Даже когда вот они вот так стояли. Да, самый большой, самый биговый, какой только есть. Нет, чистейший латте мне необходим. Все на этом, все. Окей, $1.99. Сейчас. Вот телефоном оплачу. Все хорошо, тут жду, да я? 199, of course. Of course, who the hell will sell you the coffee for 2 rubles? Are you kidding me? It's actually was obvious. It's 199, that it's 199, okay? While waiting for coffee, let's look for a panorama of Yekaterinburg. When yet you will see the real, no fake, no bullshit panorama of Yekaterinburg. Actually, this is the capital of the Ural region. Can you imagine this? It's the 4th biggest town in Russia. The only bad thing that today the weather is not too good. Whoa, Lorry R. And J. Gajan Gadkar. Love your work, Sergey. My greetings. Thank you, guys. I do this for you because you remember we agreed. I told you that you're sending me super chats, okay? And I formed the budgets with these super chats, and I go for the road trips. And that's what I do. This is already the 4th tour of my road trip. The first one was over the Volga region. The second through all the Golden Ring. The third through the Republic of Karelia, Leningrad and Pskov region. And now finally here in Ural. This is already 4th Ural city. The first one was Magnitogorsk. It's still heart of Russia, metallurgic capital of Russia. Then Chelyabinsk. And yesterday it was Tyumen. Tyumen was at all like almost Siberia. Okay, coffee is ready. Дальше действовать будем мы. Спасибо, спасибо. И вот мы пришли заявить о своих правах. Слышишь шелест плащей? Это мы. Дальше действовать будем мы. Actually, when you're making super chats, you're mostly making the super chats not to me, but to yourself, because that's how I formed the budget for the road trips. Car rental, petroleum, hotel, and also the speeding tickets. Because the cameras are everywhere in Russia. And even though I'm trying not to overspeed, sometimes there is such a catches. For example, well, just now there was 90 kilometers an hour speed limit, and immediately it is 40. And they have a lot of such a catches. In Russia, everybody will tell you that no matter how you're trying, anyway, at least several fines for a speeding you're getting in Russia. And now I'm gonna go to Yeltsin Center. Yeltsin Center. Do you know what it is? It's like a huge memorial and museum complex dedicated to Boris Yeltsin, the first president of Russia. Ray Android. Hi Sergey, very nice Russian city. Have fun on our behalf. And here is a bit for your next tickets. Thanks big time. Yes, I know it is in another side, but I just wanna show this place from here. The very beginning of Yekaterinburg. Just wanna show one more angle, okay? How is the connection here? Must be good connection. It's a big city. In Moscow and St. Petersburg, they everywhere have 4G plus, which is up to 300 megabit per second. Слышишь шелест плащей? Это мы. Екатеринбург. Екатеринбург. Россия. Россия. Okay, let's keep walking. Hope you like my glasses. О, привет, тут Карачаево-Черкесия. Boris Yeltsin, the first president of Russia. As you know, in the Soviet days, the highest position in the government was called the General Secretary. The General Secretary of the Communistic Party of the Soviet Union. That meant like what we now can call president. However, in the very end of the Soviet Union, they made the position of the president. And actually, if you talk about exactly the position of the president, the first and the only president of the Soviet Union was Mikhail Gorbachev. But the first president of Russia, after the fall of USSR, was Boris Yeltsin. And actually, it is exactly Yeltsin passed the authority to Vladimir Putin in 2000 year, and Putin is still behind the wheel. It's interesting that Putin makes mad so many people in the West who never even been to Russia. That's funny, right? It's like now the guys who never had the slaves are staying on a knee before the guys who never been slaves. Well. And that's the administration of this city. Of course, with the Lenin. Wow, big time. I wonder how it is to hate Putin in a moment when never even been to Russia. City Duma, administration of the city of Yekaterinburg. Wow, look at this absolutely awesome example of Stalinist architecture. Пролетарии всех стран, соединяйтесь. The proletariats of all the countries get united. Ronald, because Putin doesn't bend over for the West. The opinion from Ronald, but Ronald was in Russia. But you was in Russia, dude. You see, 1949. This is the golden years of so-called Stalinist architecture. You see, 1949. The head of Ekaterinburg, administration of the city of Yekaterinburg, Chris Velasco. Thank you for joining one of memberships. Very much appreciated. Wonderful artwork. Duma, from the words думать, to think. So here they are sitting and thinking how to make better for a people, for a Russian people, how to make it so that Russian people to live better. How to keep develop the country. how to be even more powerful. Would you like to work in a building like this? It's a painting. It's even more than it's not even painting. It's a whole artwork. It's something like 3D painting. Because I don't want to touch, but it's like the layers, the whole layers. It's curved. It's curved here. Yeah, like fresco. Moscow Kremlin. Good. Россия, СССР, Советский Союз. ЮССР. ЮССР. Vladimir Putin, we are watching everything you do. It's pretty good, Vladimir Vladimirovich. The real Stalinist empire. Neoclassical Stalinist empire. And look, here is like on a red square, here is the pavement. The road is paved. Yeah, I know why it is. This is actually the reference to the red square. Because look, here is this square, it's paved. And there is the fresco of the Kremlin. That's really interesting reference. And even Lenin. The only thing that on a red square Lenin is laying in mausoleum, but here it is standing. Ленин. Спасибо товарищу Ленину за наше счастливое детство. Я ленинцем стать настоящим хочу, чтоб смело смотреть мне в глаза Ильичу. Ильич как живой, погляди на меня и словно желая мне доброго дня. Ronald. With the best regards to Ronald. And this is Passage. Seems like not a bad example of the new building, but with an old architecture. Passage. Wow, this administration, this freaking Duma is impressive. And by the way, the street is of course called Prospect Lenina, the prospect of Lenin, Lenin Prospect. Oh, Gabi Hyman, товарищ Sergey, thank you for my happy childhood. Welcome, big time. Thank you too. Я ленинцем стать. Thanks to Comrade Lenin for our happy childhood. I want to become a real Leninist, that to be so brave, to look right into his eyes. Passage is just a mall, and I'm going to Yeltsin Center. Я ленинцем стать настоящим. Хочу, чтоб смело смотреть мне в глаза самому Ильичу. Ильич как живой, погляди на меня и словно желай ты мне доброго дня. Another awesome mansion. An echo of Russian Empire. Вперед, товарищи! Вперед! Forward, comrades! Forward! Lenin. I think that if you're watching me every day, you now see Lenin every day. Correct? I don't really like the parking right here, though. It must be like a huge solid square. That's my opinion. Okay, time to keep going. And here is the words of Lenin. Все, чего мы достигли, показывает, что мы опираемся на самую чудесную в мире силу, на силу рабочих и крестьян. Ленин. Everything what we have reached so far shows that we rely on the most miracle, the most wonderful in the world power, on a power of workers. Lenin. Lenin. Ryan, I only spent 3 weeks in Moscow. I miss it so much. All through the years, you have been my go-to guy for all things Russia. Sergey, I hope we get to meet and have a beer if I'm ever allowed to leave Australia. Well, first of all, thank you. And you know how to find me. Facebook, Google Mail, all that information in about section. But just don't tell me you're following for alternative history. If you're hi. If you're follow for an alternative history, then we're not gonna meet. If you don't think that our civilization actually was buried under the ground, and on this lands of buried civilization, there was another civilization. Viner Street. Look. Actually, Arbat, local Arbat. Let's walk through this. Come on, local Arbat. Вот послушайте, все, чего мы достигли благодаря самой чудесной в мире силе рабочих и крестьян. Look, everything we have reached so far, we have reached thankful to the support of the most wonderful power, the power of the workers. Lenin. This is the street which is called Weiner Street. Probably Weiner used to be some German communist. And now here is the street named after him. Weiner. Okay, so local are bought. Local youth, mostly rockers. I believe that the rock is still pretty big here, same as in St. Petersburg. Hi. Rock culture must be pretty big here, same as in St. Petersburg, because St. Petersburg, same as Yekaterinburg, these are two the most rock cities in Russia. Вот послушайте, в науке нет широкой столбовой дороги, или что достигает ее вершин, кто неустанно карабкается по ее каменистым тропам. Dance, dance. Не, ну послушайте, только послушайте еще раз. Все, чего мы достигли благодаря самой чудесной силе в мире, силе рабочих и крестьян. Okay, Weiner streets, local are bought, where people are hanging out, pedestrian streets. The cars are not allowed. Only cleaning service. Business center. Nahimov, it's one of the most significant marine admirals. You don't forget likes. You don't have to forget likes for this video, because this is the fourth biggest city in Russia, and this is the capital of Ural. No joke. Severe Ural, where even in August you're walking in a coat. another constructivism. But look, you just listen to this once again. Everything we reached so far, we've got thankful to the supports of the most wonderful power in the world, the power of workers, Lenin. Anthony LDS. Thank you big time. What's this? Is this like a drugstore guy? What is this, you think? Seems like an old school drugstore guy. CF. Thank you. Americanka. So what's this? Something like an American diner? Groovy bar. Let's keep on grooving. And in the beginning there was a Jack. And Jack had a groove. And from this groove came the groove of all grooves. I am the creator, and this is my house. And that's how the house music was born. Okay, let's keep walking just regular streets, because I know that many of you don't like it when I go through the pedestrian streets and like, hey you mofo, show us ordinary stuff. Okay, here is ordinary stuff. Just go through the regular streets. Anthony LDS, you can tell Russia is a Christian country because they haven't destroyed themselves over COVID, the satanic hawks got us with Russia. Such a message from Anthony LDS. Waiting to see Yeltsin's memorial. Oh yeah, actually I go there now. I'm not sure those where to go because my second phone died. Yeah, it is an old phone with a pretty bad battery and it's dying like for an hour even if I do nothing. But I will ask, as we say, the tank will lead you until Kiev. Let's go to coffee now. Well, I had coffee less than an hour ago. I'm not sure if I have to go there again. Wow, look, by the way, it seems that Yekaterinburg is still in the final stage of coronavirus restrictions because still I see that all the restaurants are empty, working for takeaway only. Wow, this is a shame. Let's say St. Petersburg, as you know, went through this already 2 weeks ago. What I know for sure that actually I need getting back to the river. Whoa, look, what a huge street art of Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space, right on the side of the building, side wall. Whoa, Gagarin, Yuri Gagarin, 12th of April 1961, the first flight of the man into the space, Yuri Gagarin, on a Vostok, an East spaceship. You know, there actually was two candidates to be the first man in space, Gagarin and Yuri Gagarin and German Titov. But you know what Sergei Korolev, the main constructor, said? Look, in case of successful flight, the whole world will look at him. And Korolev just thought that Yuri Gagarin have an absolutely awesome smile. So Gagarin was not only professional, like flyer and cosmonaut. I mean, like had all the quality preparation for a flight into the space, but he also had a good appearance and a great smile. Gagarin, Gagarin, я вас любила, о. Gagarin, я вас любила, о. Gagarin, я вас любила, о. Let's get inside of one of the yards, or you will tell me, hey, you was not getting into the yards, only showing us the facades. Well, such a small yard, like everywhere, some trees, playgrounds, yeah, like a little bit old school playgrounds, but that's it. Well, I'm not sure why trimmed trees, but probably they were pretty old and there was the danger that they will just fall down on somebody's head. And mostly most probably on the head of the kid. You know, now it's maybe will seem strange to you what I will say, but actually I think that the bloggers, video bloggers, are the followers, of cosmonauts. Let me explain why. The thing is, after the first flight of Gagarin into the space, every Russian kid, if you ask him who you want to be, the kids were answering the cosmonauts. But now when you ask the kids who they want to be, they say vloggers. Что случилось? What's the problem?
Да, конечно.
What's the problem?
Конечно, блин. Ты
What's
что,
the problem?
Что еще раз?
В чем проблема?
Не, проблема. Что у тебя за YouTube канал или что за
У меня
контент ты снимаешь?
великолепнейший канал.
Великолепнейший канал, это Эдвард Билл, Москва. Тём Дудаев, Дудаев топ, Москва. Ты что? Пранкер.
Я еще
пранкер.
лучше.
Да
потому что они пранкеры. Они не образованы.
Лучше. А
Я
почему?
чрезвычайно образован.
Блин,
Я
давай
чрезвычайно
тебе
образован.
4 линзу снимем нахуй и образованно поговорим нахуй.
В чем проблема?
Да в чем у тебя проблема?
У меня нет проблемы, я иду.
Давай, Дудаев, стоп, мой канал, он думает,
I said, what's your problem? And he said, no, I don't have problem. You see, that's how I talk with them. You know, and you telling like, hey, do you have a bodyguard? I don't need bodyguards. I said that I actually can stand for myself. Okay, I told you that if now you ask the kids who they want to be, they say vloggers. So they used to want to be cosmonauts, now they want to be vloggers. You see? So actually, we the vloggers, we are the followers of the cosmonauts. You know, Gagarin brought the space science to the whole new level. I'm bringing now the live streams to a whole new level. Yeah. Another street art. Okay, time to go. It's time to go. The youth. The only problem with the youth these days, they are good guys, but the only problem with them, they are listening to all that pretty simple music, which you can write for like an hour on the computer. Just add more of 16th drums. And it will be hit. Give bass, give rhythm, and 16th drums. Teach them classical music. Dudes, it's not easy to teach classical music. For example, I'm teaching you classical music already for years and years. And what I have, my Dmitry Shostakovich video, which was one of the worst videos ever. Nobody fucking cares about Shostakovich. I mean, like, of course, not like nobody, but many people never cares. And it was a huge shock on me. Another merchant house, unfortunately seems a little bit like abandoned or half abandoned, but its time will come, because now in many of my videos you see that everywhere there goes the renovations, little by little, but they renovate all these historical buildings, especially the ones which are in a kind of good shape. Actually, this one in a good shape, so it's easier to renovate it. The problem why all of these old buildings, all nice architectural buildings, the reason why they can't renovate them all, because actually the government has the budget. In this budget there is a part of it which is directed for the renovation of the buildings like this, and no matter what you do, you can't go over the budget. So that's why the volume of the amount of the buildings that they can renovate, it is limited. Okay, it is limited, but it goes all the time, because every year in a budget of Russia there's a gigantic amounts of money for the renovations, especially in St. Petersburg. Извините, не подскажете сейчас Yeltsin Center, откуда пройти быстрее, лучше?
По прямой и направо.
Направо. Окей, спасибо. Okay, I need to go straight forwards and then to the right. Pretty long traffic lights. Oh. Look, I'm staying here and yet 15 seconds. What I've noticed in the Ural towns, that the traffic lights are long, way longer than they really have to be. Oh, come on, come on. Look, that's interesting. The tram rails, they are paved. Okay, they are paved. Those who are just joining to this live stream, I'm gonna remind that today exploring Yekaterinburg, which is the capital of Ural region of Russia, Ural Federal District. This is the biggest city in the Ural and the fourth biggest in the whole Russia. The first Moscow, second St. Petersburg, third Novosibirsk, which is the capital of Siberia, and the fourth Yekaterinburg, which is the capital of Ural. That's it. The city founded in 1723, 2 years before the Peter the Great's death, and it was founded as just a fortress on the bank of Isset River, where we have been today. It was just a fortress. Inside of that fortress, iron making plants, and that plant was named after Catherine I, the wife of Peter the Great, not Catherine II. And that's how, little by little, it started growing up, and it got developments, because this is an ideal geographical point for the development of relationship between Siberia and Central Russia. It's like Ural, you know, Ural is right in the middle of Central Russia. Look at the map. Why you're sitting and just listening to me? Also take the map now and see that Ural region, Yekaterinburg, it's right in the middle, right in between. Okay, she said to the right. I hope I go right, or maybe need to keep going. Как пройти в Yeltsin Center? Не знаешь? Окей. Хорошо. Не подскажете Yeltsin Center, как лучше пройти? Yeltsin? Да. Откуда? Вот так пойти или так? Так. Ага, спасибо. Okay, this way. Ekaterinburg. So location of Yekaterinburg, it's really like ideal location. It was ideal location for making the points of control in between of Central Russia and Siberia. Or Roy High or HL. Anyway, super chat message. Thank you for your commitment to your videos and sharing your beautiful country with the world. You are the Gagarin of the YouTube world. Thank you, big time. I'm actually the Gagarin of the live streams. I mean life, L-I-F-E, life of life. I told you many times. What it used to be the live streams before. You say live streams, you suppose the gamers who are just playing the games online, okay? And what I'm showing the real life. I'm just walking everywhere around the streets all over Russia, and we all together enjoying this. And most of places recently I opened together with you. For example, in Chelyabinsk I was for the first time, in Magnitogorsk, in Tyumen for the first time, here for the first time. And you see, even now I got lost, and we are all together searching for where is Yeltsin Center. Yeltsin Center. Yeltsin, the first president of Russia, who actually passed the authority presidentship to Putin. E. Rex Rhodes. I am a mofo who loves Sergey's live stream. No fake and no BS. Thank you, Sergey. Welcome, big time. Oh, I know the place where I will invite Casey Neistat when he will come here. Look. Do you think it would be a good idea to invite Casey Neistat here? We'll get him some new glasses. But then we will have to spoil them again right away. What's this? Барашка на гранате. Okay. It's like lamb on a grenade. Georgian restaurants. Yeah, I think this is. I remember I've tried the lamb barbecue with those pieces of granite. Look, I like this functionalism. I like such a bit brutal, simple constructions. It's the end of 1970s, beginning of 1980s. The House of Book. I guess even still now they must have the library here. Some pretty modern architecture. Hyatt. It seems this is the hotel. Exploring Yekaterinburg, the capital of Ural. Also, I now understood that I never yet mentioned that not only the culture pretty much developed here, not only music, as I told you, from here came out such super popular bands like Nautilus Pompilius, Агата Кристи, Смысловые галлюцинации, Чичерина. But also this is a pretty sporty city. For example, here playing the football club in a highest so-called Russian Premier League, Ural Ekaterinburg, and in a highest hockey league, KHL, Continental Hockey League, there is automobilist. So Yekaterinburg is for sure historical, cultural, architectural, musical, and sports centers of Russia. Awesome. Brutal and awesome. Monumental buildings. Yeah, here Yegor tells me that this is a law council. Law council, this is like the department of the region where they are accepting the laws. The laws which is gonna work only in this region. And it can be different laws. The only condition that these laws don't have to go against the federal law. Oh, finally we can go. It takes a lot of time to wait for all of this traffic light changes. But look, when I need to cross the streets, the works not that long at all. I hadn't enough of time to cross the street. Yes, it is already dark sky because it's getting really dark. Well, there already was the sunset. Let me show you the pond once again. And here is, by the way, the theater. They are looking forward to be opened again. As I told you before, Yekaterinburg is the third most cultural city in Russia after St. Petersburg, Moscow, and Moscow. The amounts of different cultural buildings, like not only buildings, but I mean theaters, philharmonic, concert halls, bigger only in St. Petersburg and in Moscow. It's a pond. And finally, if I can understand it right, Yeltsin Center, which is there. Okay, let's go from this side. This is a pond. Yeltsin, the first president of Russia. And Gorbachev was the first and last president of USSR, because before Gorbachev, the highest political position was called the General Secretary of the Communistic Party of the Soviet Union. Now here is the museum of like the newest history of Russia, and of course an exposition dedicated to the life and presidentship of Yeltsin. Let's go upstairs. It really doesn't make me happy now to see the restaurants empty again. This is what from we came out in St. Petersburg, and you saw all of those videos where I was showing happy people sitting inside of the restaurants, enjoying simple things. But here in Sverdlovsk region, it's still not allowed to go inside. Only so-called summer terraces or takeaway. Okay, before the Yeltsin Center, or I guess it's on the roof of it, here is such a terrace, public space. (1991). That's actually the date of birth of New Russia. The year when USSR collapsed, and on the ruins of the Soviet Union was born New Russia. Yeltsin Center. The sign here is Yeltsin Center. Seems like in the evening people are just coming to hang out here. Not a lot of people now because it's Monday, because it's not so hot, and they forecasted the rain. They were telling like 100% that it will be the rain at this time. And here is the monuments to Yeltsin. But it was really a lot of traffic today. And about lunchtime when I came here, and I even had to cancel my booking for a hotel twice. The thing is, when I search for, this is Yeltsin. The thing is, when I search for the hotel on booking, one of the conditions, one of the options, I say I need parking, okay? And it finds me the hotels that pretends they have a parking. But when you're coming, you see that there's actually no parking. Under parking, they mean that there is a public parking around and you can stand there. Come on. I know that in the big cities, of course, there's a parkings where I can stay. But I want to stay in your parking, okay? And the thing is, not only they don't have parking, but there wasn't any free parking lots around. So I anyway was not able to park my car. So I had to cancel at first one hotel, then another hotel, and finally I found that one with its own parking, like really own parking. So this is Yeltsin. Relatively, Yeltsin was not a long ago, and I believe that most of you have to remember him. He actually was hanging out a lot with Bill Clinton. I remember he was coming to the States and they was laughing hard there. Probably they were drinking vodka and then had fun. Yes, maybe Bill Clinton, Boris Yeltsin, and Monica Lewinsky. They all had fun together. What do you think? Bill Clinton, Yeltsin, and Monica Lewinsky. They maybe had fun together. Okay, dudes. You know what? It's time to get back to hotel to go sleep, and already early in the morning to go to Perm, you know, the city which is called Perm. In Russian language, this is 5 letters, like P, E, R, M, and soft sign. But in English language, there is no soft sign, so it's only 4 letters, P, E, R, M. And I guess in English manner it's pronounced Perm. In Russian it's Perm. And in Perm they pronounce Perm. You see? This is another pretty big city, one of 15, only 15 cities of Russia with a population over 1 million residents. And tomorrow I go there. You see, I started in Magnitogorsk, then moved to Chelyabinsk, then to Tyumen. Today I came to Yekaterinburg, and finally, starting from Tyumen, I already don't go deep into the Siberia, but I go back to the west, to be exact, little by little, but I will go to northwest. Northwest, that of course, it's St. Petersburg. Little by little, I will get to St. Petersburg. Actually, now from here to St. Petersburg, like more than 2,000 kilometers, maybe on like 2,500. Yeah, but I will going little by little. Perm, then most probably Kirov, then Vologda, and that's how little by little we'll get back to St. Petersburg. Chris Velasco, thank you for another great live stream. Have a good night. Looking forward to tomorrow. Thank you, big time. From Russia with love. Thank you. When will you see your family again? I will see my family at the 17th of August. They will fly from Ufa, fly back to St. Petersburg at the 17th. Ural's near Siberia or considered Siberia? No, it's near. It's not considered as Siberia. Siberia is Siberia. Ural is Ural. Well done, sir. I bet your feet are sore now. No, actually, it's interesting, but here I actually walk way less than I used to walk in St. Petersburg. I mean, like, I drive a lot. I drive for a long time here because, let's say, today I drove for like 6 hours from Tumen, but I walk less. Maybe even it seems like I walk more, but here I walk less. Because here I walk like kind of slow, Okay, dudes, tomorrow Perm. And now I will go back to the hotel. Stay tuned and keep watching this Ural trip. See you tomorrow. In the very end, just one more panorama of Yekaterinburg. Jay Gibson, thank you. Bye. And then don't forget likes. YouTube love the likes.